My name is Jim Givens. I'm a construction supervisor with the Division of the State Architect, and I will be presenting the plumbing portion of the Project Inspector Overview training. We'll be specifically discussing the California Code of Regulations, Title 24, Part 5, which is identified as the California Plumbing Code, sometimes abbreviated CPC, specifically the 2019 edition of the California Plumbing Code. The topics that we'll be discussing in this presentation are the following: the governing standards, references, applicable Form DSA 152 items, which is the Project Inspector inspection card, Chapter 2, which is definitions, Chapter 3, which discusses general regulations, Chapter 4, plumbing fixtures and fixture fittings, Chapter 5, water heaters, Chapter 6, water supply and distribution, Chapter 7, sanitary drainage, Chapter 8, indirect wastes, Chapter 9, vents, Chapter 10, traps and interceptors, Chapter 11, storm drainage, and finally, Chapter 12, fuel gas piping. In this first section, we'll be discussing the introduction and general information as it applies to the California Plumbing Code and plumbing in general. I'd like to briefly touch on the governing standards, which serve as the basis for the California Plumbing Code. The model code for the California Plumbing Code is specifically the 2018 Uniform Plumbing Code, also abbreviated UPC. This particular document is maintained and held by the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials, abbreviated IAPMO. The 2019 version of the California Plumbing Code incorporates the model code as its base regulatory document, and the California Plumbing Code, in addition to containing model code, includes California and agency-specific amendments. Some of the agencies are OSHA, DSA, the State Fire Marshal, etc. I want to take a few minutes to discuss notations that may be required to be made on the DSA Form 152, which is the project inspection card. Specifically for Section 1, initial site work and foundation prep, there's a possibility that related to plumbing, there may be some construction activities that occur that are associated with structural safety that may require a project inspector to verify, review, and initial on the project inspection card. Block 3 on the inspection card includes drainage devices, and some possible plumbing related construction activities are stormwater collection and distribution systems, on-site retention systems, foundation drain systems, and retaining wall drain systems. Block 4, which is designated for utilities rough-in, may see fire life safety utilities and systems, plumbing utilities or systems, and plumbing vaults. Block 6, which is set aside for concrete forming, may require initialing for fire life safety system construction or plumbing systems. Remember that the DSA 152 provides documentation of a project inspector's inspection status relating to fire life safety, structural safety, and access compliance issues. So any notations that a project inspector would make on the DSA 152 have to pertain to or be related to structural safety, fire life safety, and access compliance issues. Additional helpful information relating to the DSA 152 is located in the appendix of the DSA Procedure 13-01, which is the construction oversight process. Section 3 of the product inspection card, called appurtenances, may also require some initialing by the product inspector. Block 18 is set aside for rated assemblies, and plumbing penetrations through rated assemblies may require review, inspection, and initialing. Block 20, set aside for automatic fire sprinkler systems, may require some initialing for sprinklers, deluge sprinkler systems, water curtains, fire and smoke alarm systems, and support bracing or anchorage of an automatic fire sprinkler system. Block 21 is set aside for plumbing, and obviously structural support bracing and anchorage would be included for any pipes, tanks, or equipment that are installed on the project. As discussed in previous sections of the Product Inspector Overview training, the DSA manual includes a lot of helpful information relating to a variety of project inspector duties that may occur on a project. Again, to reiterate, it's very important to not print this manual out. It's best utilized in its electronic version so that word searches can be performed using the Control F function, which facilitates very quick access to sections of interest. Some helpful sections include Section 1.2.2, which addresses welder certifications, Section 2.1.1.3, which addresses underground utilities, Section 2.6.1, which addresses mechanical and plumbing equipment, and Section 3.3.5.5, which addresses assembly penetrations. Some additional DSA manual sections that may be helpful to the product inspector are Section 5.0, Other Building Components and Systems, Section 5.2, Plumbing Systems, and Section 5.3, Gas Systems. There are also additional helpful resources in DSA's website, which include DSA bulletins, guidelines, procedures, interpretations of regulations, and forms. There are numerous essential systems that make up a completed project. Some of them are structural, fire life safety, and architectural, which includes accessibility. And these are the big three that DSA is primarily concerned with. However, associated with these are also mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and energy. It's important that all of these separate systems integrate together, that structural integrity is obviously maintained, that fire and life safety functions are also maintained, and that accessibility features are maintained, and that no barriers are created for accessibility or prohibiting accessibility during construction. The very nature of plumbing systems are diagrammatic in that they propose a routing for piping. It is certainly possible, and we've all seen this on projects, that the proposed routing for plumbing piping or associated conduits may differ from the plans themselves. The important thing to remember is that the plumbing installations must not compromise the structural safety, fire life safety, or access compliance components of a project. In the event that inadvertent conflicts are created with structural safety, fire life safety, or the access compliance systems, these topics or these issues have got to be reviewed and approved by DSA. And a construction change document or a CCD may be required in these cases. Just to reiterate, whenever font is in red color and is underlined and is attached to a 4-diamond bullet to the left of it, this identifies a new amendment or a modified amendment in the 2019 edition of the California Plumbing Code. A few new definitions were included generally for the Plumbing Code. OSHPD has got several new definitions, and all of these definitions are worth reviewing and worth becoming familiar with in the 2019 edition of the code.